Hey, buddy. It says I'm live. I'm hoping you guys can see me. It's good to see some people. Jean, Michelle, Darlene, Kim, 3 generations. Jerry, Dorothy. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. At least I didn't start the stream and I'm all by myself. Can you see Lefty back there in the chair? It's hi everyone. Lady T, hello. JBK in Oregon, hello. Kim Paris. Dorothy, I think I recognize your name. See this right here? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's Deborah. It's close to Dorothy. So we're going to talk about that box as soon as everybody's on here. Dave, hi Dave Burr. Good to see you. 1954 Shadow. Is that a car? Joshua. Excellent. Aslan, Jerry, Spy Guy. Well, it's really good to be here with everybody. Fort Worth, Deb, hello. Dana's Wanderlust Crochet. Hi, Dana. I'm assuming your name's Dana. Mike from Iowa. Hi, Mike. So this is the first time I've done a live stream. If any of you, some of you, I think, might have seen the stream start up like a half an hour ago because I clicked the wrong button and all of a sudden went live right away. And then I stopped it real fast. Karina, hello. So first time I've done a live stream. I hope it looks okay and sounds okay. I've got one of my action cams plugged into my laptop. I've got one of my microphones plugged into the laptop and wires running all over the desk. So I decided to do it inside because it would just be too hot to do it out in the truck. We got good cell coverage out there. Like I would have plenty of signal, but it's just too hot now. Okay, so Dana, thank you. So there's this option, I guess, and I've never been on someone else's live stream, and this is my first. So there's this little $ thing where you can give donations. So Dana just sent me $20. So thank you, Dana. So it works. I've never seen it work before. So thank you very much. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Scott, good to see you, buddy. How's the radio working out for you? I hope it's doing okay. I was just using mine today. We were outside working. So I took the headliner out. The material showed up yesterday, actually. It said it wasn't going to be here for like another week and a half, but it showed up yesterday. And so this morning I got up and I was going to go spray the glue and put the headliner on. Kim, hello. And as I was reading the can of glue that I had a Loctite can of spray adhesive, and it said right on it, not recommended for headliners. So that to a screeching halt today. Danny the Toe Smasher, hello. Watsa, hello. Watsa, you've been around since I think my second or third video, commenting all the time. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Lady T's getting serious about her van build. Still have to figure out how to make money on the road. Well, yeah, that's something I don't really talk about on the channel, like finances. It's not something I'm, I guess, really comfortable talking about. My voice is cracking a little as I'm thinking about it right now. I sold my house and my car and my other car and all the stuff that I had. I did okay, and I had enough savings, and I've been living on my savings since I've been on the road. It's been coming up on 2 years. Next month, it'll be 2 years. And some days I kind of get a little worried about it. Yeah, for super chat. Yes, thank you. So some days I can't help but think about the future. As much as I try to just live day to day right now, I fall back into that mode of where I'm thinking about, 5 years from now, 7 years from now. And, the money I have right now in the bank is not going to last that long. So I have to figure something out between now and then. I mean, I'm okay, right now, but I'm not going to last forever on the savings from all of that. Middleweight, boop. I don't understand. You always comment that. I don't get it. You got to explain that to me. Adam, hello. From Salt Lake City. Outstanding. Dooley says hello. Okay. That's a great name. Dooley. Mexico. I'm sorry. I'm going to mispronounce your name. Petronilo? I know that's wrong. From Mexico. Hello. Thank you for watching. You're a paramedic in a 96 Acano line. Still running strong. Excellent. So an active paramedic driving a 96 E-Series van. That's great. Thank you, Kim, for that. Yeah, it's kind of a personal thing. Paul, good to see you, brother. Remember Paul? Paul helped me in my one video where I had to replace my solar panels that blew off on the expressway in New Mexico. And Paul was out there and met up in Quartzsite and helped me lug those things up on the roof. So good to see you, Paul. Paul just got him an air fryer. Hope you don't mind me sharing that, Paul. He's living the air fryer dream life now. Lisa from Tennessee, hello. Chris from Northern Kentucky, thank you. I appreciate that. Don from Hawaii, thank you. Lisa, boop, not book. I'm lost. Lady T has a 96 E150. Awesome. So you know what he's driving down in Mexico. Little Rascal, Ron. Greetings from mid-Missouri. Missouri, driving through Missouri, the up and down, that is, I gotta really put my foot in it to get up those inclines, boy. You're trying to drive home from work while I'm on live. Well, watch the road, not your phone. Kim, good thing is getting my wanderlust out while I'm young. You know what? I saw, I don't know if it's a story or a show or something, and people said, you work your young life and retire when you're old and maybe can't do a lot of things. Why don't we reverse it where you're retired and doing your stuff when you're young, and then when you get older, you start to work? I thought that made a lot of sense. Probably not feasible, but I thought that made a lot of sense. Greg in San Diego, hey, brother. Paul says he loves the air fryer. I knew you would. Get one of those thin ribeyes in there. I'm telling you, 10 minutes, flip it halfway. Oh, they melt in your mouth. Joshua, yeah, good question. How did I decide what to take and what to leave behind? So I had to whittle down all of my stuff. He mentions like tools and clothes. So for my tools, I kind of did an inventory of the truck and what kind of fasteners it uses. It's metric. It uses a pretty small set of metric size bolts and nuts all through the truck. I brought some large size sockets based on the lug nuts. Excuse me. So combination wrenches that were metric, and I brought standard ones also. A lot of pliers, assortment of pliers, a lot of woolage, side cutters, strippers, all of that kind of stuff. Have I traveled to Canada? No, I haven't. Not Canada. And then for like clothes, I'm not a big fashion guy. So I packed a lot of pairs of shorts because I kind of made a agreement with myself that I was going to try to not wear long pants anymore. I was going to try to always be able to wear shorts, and it's, I'm going to say 90% of the time that's worked out. So a lot of pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of jeans, 3 pairs of like sweatpants kind of stuff, and a buttload of t-shirts, and a lightweight zip up jackets, like fleece jackets. And that's pretty much it for clothes. And I've been okay with that. You know, you can do laundry periodically out on the road. I've never gotten to a point where I'm like wearing dirty clothes. You know, I've always been able to get laundry done before I needed the clothes to be clean. So benefits, not beans. Spell check is taken over. Okay. I'm lost on that. I still want to know what boop means. He always comments in the videos, boop, and I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't know if he's like putting a jab at me or, and I'm saying him. I don't know that it's a him. It could be a woman. I just don't know. I think it's a man. The Willie Shack. Hello. Scott says, any thoughts on going maybe up the coast to Maine or down to Florida? I've been thinking about Florida. I mentioned the other day that one gentleman that stopped by and met me out when I was working on the truck. He actually gave me 2 Florida locations that they're kind of secretive. And he recommended them. And I've been thinking about Florida only because, you know, I've been to Arizona a couple times. I know what it is out there for the winter. Can always go back there, but maybe for something just to shake it up a little bit. So I've been thinking about Florida. I'm not saying I'm going to, but it's on my maybe list. Yeah. The boop is for engagement on YouTube. You get launched into the algorithm with likes and comments. Okay. So it's just a placeholder, basically. It's to put a comment in then. Okay, well, boop away. You can put as many boops in there as you want to. Dave Burr, when are you getting back on the road? Well, I'm here and I plan to be here until the end of June. So what are we right now? We're at the 11th of June. I was planning to leave here the end of June, but something just changed. One of the things I was back here for was a specific thing that was supposed to happen in June. And I just found out yesterday it's now been delayed till the end of July. And I have to be here for that. But I don't want to stay here at the folks' house all the way till the end of July. So I've got to figure out something to do so that I can be back here at the end of July. Once that's taken care of, then I'm going to be heading. My plan was to go out to Colorado. The Colorado, the area I went last year, the elevation allows you to be there when it's super hot temperatures. Like down in Denver, it'd be 95, but the place we were, it was 78 degrees. So beautiful place to be in the warm summer weather. But then I got stuck in a snowstorm in September. I'm not going to forget that. Friends with beans. I don't know what that means. Never been. My world, my way. Never been to America. Oh, gosh. You should try and get here. Just the part of the country that I've been able to see in the last 2 years, and I've only scratched the surface. It's incredible. The scenery. It's places that you get to, and like the mountains and stuff. When I look up at the mountains, they're so big. Like my eyes and my brain have a hard time like focusing or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It doesn't compute in my head when I'm looking at a mountain that's like reaching up to the sky. So if you can get here to travel the Western states, I'd really recommend it. Dana's got an F450 ambulance without a walkthrough. You have a window, I'm assuming. Did you see what I did at the end of the last video where I showed what Ed had done to his rig, where he was able to turn a window into a walkthrough? If you haven't seen that, I would start by watching that, and that might give you some idea. I've seen some pickup trucks that don't even have the window, and some that have the window and only the window is sealed up. In other words, the rest of the cab has an air gap between the cab and the box. Those making a pass through I don't think so. I mean, you could, but it'd be a lot of work. Dana says, come visit you in Orlando. If I get down there, for sure. Kim says, smashing the thumbs up also helps my algorithm. Yeah, the whole YouTube, I don't know how YouTube's brain works. Obviously, videos usually get a few thousand views, and then the video where I helped that woman out in Arizona when she was stuck, and the next one after we drove back here and getting pulled over, those two videos did something with YouTube's brain and got like, I don't know, 120,000 views. So I haven't figured it out, and I myself starting to think about that kind of stuff, and I don't really want to grind on how to make YouTube work better for me. I just want to keep it so that I enjoy making videos. I don't want to get caught up in the grind. I talked about this in a video a while back where I had a little coming to God moment thinking about YouTube and how I wanted to handle it. Johnny, hi, David, left San Diego. Hello. Okay, how do I see who did that? G Pants, thank you for that. $24.99. That's a great donation price. How did you come up with that number? Is that one? I don't know what the standard numbers are. I've never clicked that little $ button. I don't know what it does. So thank you very much. Dorothy says, I'm so good with electric and gadgets. I'm sure you could make it a side business. Have I thought about it? I think about it, and I enjoy doing that kind of work. And when I think about it and like scheduling with people and getting it set up, I kind of get that, I don't know, that feeling like, oh, now I'm back in like a job grind and all that. And maybe someday, yes, but right now I feel like kind of trying to recover and shed all of that from my past life. So, but maybe sometime in the future, I'd be able to circle back around and start doing some of that, because I do like doing it. I really do. And I know there's people that could use a hand on their projects, and but just not right now. It's not for me right now. It's a good question. Johnny's love the Lefty. Excellent. Where is Lefty? He's laying right down at my feet. We just came back from a walk. I took him out and tried to shake some of his energy off before we sat down here. He was on the chair, Kim, but he's down on the floor now. He's trimming his dew claws. Those dew claws on the dogs. He trims them. He doesn't chew on his other ones, but he always trims his dew claws. He's done that since he was like 1 year old. Because at first, they grew really sharp, and then he started chewing on himself. He keeps his dew claws at a nice length. Artscape Adventures by Lisa. Hello from Florida. Traveling up the East Coast. Outstanding. Probably a little humid, right? Pass-through will be my shower, Dana says. Huh, that's interesting. It's an interesting idea. A lot of people have asked about putting a shower. Why don't I have a shower in the truck? And I mean, it would be great. Taking a shower outside I'm good with that. It's plenty comfortable. Obviously, you don't want to take a shower outside when it's like really cold, but I don't, I stay out of cold weather. I stay in decent warm weather. So my outside shower is good for me. And it's always a sacrifice. If you make a shower, you've got to sacrifice that storage room for other things. And so my cabinet storage room outside is really important to me because of all my tools and the electronics and the water system and all that. So I don't see right now that I'm ever going to put a shower in the rig, I'll get Lefty back up in the camera. A lot of people, I knew, that's why I put that chair there, because I knew that he's really the star of the channel, and I'm just here to click buttons because he can't control the mouse with his paw. So I gotta Jim Manley, Jim and Mary in Chino Valley. Good to see you, brother. Tom, yeah, said it's good to hear. I'm more interested in making videos and not much of the money. Now, I'm not going to say I don't like to have money, but I just don't like to focus on it because it was kind of ruining my fun. So I feel like I've kind of talked about that enough. I want to skip on that. Wingnut Stickman, who downvoted? How do you downvote before it's over? Actually, before it even started, I had not a 100% ratio, whatever. So that meant before it even started, I just happened to look at that. So I was just getting used to looking at the mechanics screen of the live stream, and I noticed that I had like an 86% approval, which meant that some people had downvoted me. So maybe they did it by mistake. Don't know. Full-timer La Buchisto. Good name. Yep. Definitely ambulances, heavy duty. You're not going to find an RV I don't think, that's built like an ambulance. I don't think you will. Darlene, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Post-traumatic career. That's, I thought about that the PTSD kind of thing. I think I did, to a degree. I've never thought about that, but a lot of like the symptoms that I had from my career and what it had kind of done to me and for me when I was working, I think it probably was a little bit of that. Oh, fortune in my world, my way. Usually do their dew claws, save me a fortune in vet bills. Yeah. Lefty, I haven't had to have his nails trimmed in years. From all the activity and the walking, they stay trimmed down. Like when he was at the vet a couple weeks ago, the technician asked me, did I want to get the nails done? And then she looked and she goes, oh, he doesn't need them. And I kind of knew that because they seem to stay the same length all the time. He does that on purpose with all of his, his running. I should change Mr. Andy CM. You should change your channel name to Lefty and the Campulance, man. Yeah. I know. Antonio. Uh-oh. So Mom has a little dog. They got it recently. She's a 12-year-old. I'm not sure what kind, but she barks a lot, and she makes Lefty bark. Oh, it's my daughter. And Blue, I think. Yeah, I can tell because there's a lot of noise coming. I'm sorry if the sound is overtaking me. It's going to get really boisterous here for a couple minutes because she just got here with her dog, Blue. Going off to bed now, my world, my way. Thank you for being here. Adam, you could start a Patreon. This could be a way to bring some money. I did just start a Patreon. That's something I wanted to cover. A couple of housekeeping things while we're here. I've had a pretty good number of messages over the 2 years, people asking if I had a Patreon, and I didn't really consider doing that. I just started one like last week. There's a link in the video description. It's there if you guys want to go look at it, okay? I know some people have sent me repeating like PayPal payments, and that's just not the most convenient way if you want to send that kind of stuff. So the Patreon is a more convenient way to do that if that's something you want to do. So it is linked down in the video descriptions. Like I just put a link in like the last 1 or 2 videos, I think it started. So there is a Patreon. So thank you for asking that. Michelle, 1999. Thank you very much, Michelle. And a little Dancing like dragon with a #1 flag. Thank you. That's nice. That's nice. Lefty's the star of the show, but he needs David to get the fridge door open. Nice, Wingnut. I think he needs me for a little more than that. I got to put the food in his bowl. I got to fill the bowl with water. Dorothy says she's heard of catalytic converters being stolen off of rigs. I've heard that on the news. The only thing I could come up with as a possible solution is to put one of those motion alarms. You can't really attach it to the exhaust system because of the heat, but if you put a motion alarm on the rig close by, like underneath where the exhaust is, the truck is going to have to move somewhat if they're stealing the catalytic converter, and one of those motion alarms that has the really loud, like 110 decibel scream, that might be a solution. But as far as like a mechanical solution, I don't know. You can't drill through the exhaust to put like a lock or anything. Oh, it's getting really loud down there. Gosh, I'm sorry. Lisa's saying, what, they gave me a thumbs down because of the false start. That's what I thought. You're probably right. You're probably right. Congrats on the 10K. It's Ketolicious at Mary's Place. Great name. Thank you. I mentioned it in the video. The channel kind of really blew up really fast, and it's all of you guys. Thank you all. It was really hard to keep up with. I was getting a lot of comments. I want to share, I read every single comment. I can't reply to every comment, but I read them all because I want to. I at least will put a heart next to them, unless it's something that I really like, then I won't put a heart next to it. So if you see a heart on your comment, I've read it. And I spend pretty good amount of time every day going through. I like to read them. And right now that's going to continue. So thank you all for commenting all the time. I pronounced your name right. Now I can't. Now I don't know how I did it. Labucisto. One of those three. She loves sun. Sherry, hi, Sherry and Rowdy. Thank you for being here. You guys remember Sherry? We toured her rig. She has the white E450 that I could stand up in. Remember that? That I wanted to steal from her because I could stand up in it. Tom says, yeah, walking is the best way to keep them trimmed. I agree, because I don't do any maintenance on his toenails. It's just all from walking. Jim, wait until the massive number of evictions start in September. Oh, I heard about that. They're cutting off the they couldn't evict people that weren't paying their rent, but that's ending, I understand. I want to tell you, I don't watch news. I don't. The only thing I know about news is when I'm scanning through YouTube and I see like the line of news things there. And as I'm reading, I'll see the titles of them. So that's the only news that I know of. Oh, we got a superstar just showed up. Come on, you got to come this way. Hi, sweetheart.
Hello.
So you can see yourself there. Yeah. All right.
They just attacked each other downstairs.
I heard that.
So
Did they actually fight?
Yes. Oh, I don't know why.
They haven't done that in a long time.
I know.
Oh.
How's it going?
Good. I only screwed up a little bit and did a false start like half an hour early.
I saw that.
But everybody has forgiven me, so
Good.
it's okay.
Good.
So see here, I'm just reading through the comments. Everybody's got a lot of great comments. Oh my gosh. Look what someone said. Kim says your daughter is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You said you want to read that one. Michelle Scott. Hello, Michelle. Frequent commenter. Thank you for being here. Wingnut, thank you. I did a live stream interview with a young lady that contacted me. This is going way back. It was on her channel. She asked if she could do a live stream with the two of us, which I did. And some of the people complained after. She was the moderator, like she was in charge of it, and that the comments weren't getting responded to. And so I kind of buried that in the back of my brain. And when I was sitting down here to do this, yeah, I'm going to respond to the comments. I don't really have anything interesting to say. So I've got to rely on you guys to say the interesting stuff. You want to get a 57 years old and wanting to get a van and hit the road after I get my SSI and eye surgery and license back. Legally blind. Well, the surgery should fix that. Your SSI will help you. Yeah. The good thing is if you're going to be getting a rig for a planned takeoff to go on the road later and you've got time to build it, I only wish that I had allowed myself that time. You know, I lost my job, got a new job to fill the winter months, bought the rig, winter ended, I left my job, and I had 2 months to build my rig. And then my house was sold. So I only wish I had given myself more time. And I do say this to people when they contact me and we have emails back and forth. I tell them, it's great that you've got that time. You know, they're saying I'm 2 years from now, I'm going to go on the road, you know, so I'm envious of that. So you can really take your time to plan out and build your rig. So big recommendation of mine, if you can, and it fits into your logistics of what you're doing, get your rig and spend a bunch of time planning and building it. It's fun. You don't want to rush through it. And I made some mistakes in what I did in building my truck. I was going to make a video about that so that I can come clean on all the mistakes I made.
Oh, I see somebody said hi to me. Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
No.
Nahum.
Nahum E.
I know someone named Nahum.
You slip away. So Bob was working on his ambulance. Are you talking about Bob Wells? Has Bob released the tour video on his channel of my rig? I check over there periodically, but so far I hadn't seen it the last time I checked. Moni G, you're living my dream. I envy you and Lefty so much. Well, it can be your dream. You can do it too. I did it. You can do it. You know, on that note too, if you're starting out on the road and things are not going smooth, don't give up. You know, I had a couple of moments where I was thinking, is this the right, did I do the right thing? I wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the right stuff in my truck. And I didn't get close to quitting, but I had some moments where thinking, what the heck am I doing? You know? And that's what made me really serious when I came back here last summer and add a whole bunch of comfort stuff to the truck and the water system and the microwave and the oven and the air fryer and all of that stuff. And like I said, that past winter, after doing all that, our last winter was so comfortable. So don't give up when you're new if things are a struggle, because it's going to be. Nobody can plan for everything. Just ride it out and it'll get better. Tom says, yeah, the princess is in. I'm assuming you're referring to this one. Lisa says, hello, gorgeous.
Here's your shoe.
Sherry says, hi, I can't have her ambulance. You're only 5'1"? Wow. You're so lucky. You could have had my rig at 5'1" and stood straight up. Van Vita. Hey, that's I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, that I did the live stream with way back. Yes, good to see you. Michelle, thank you for being here. Dorothy says she subscribed after she saw the beautiful family. That's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, of course, my daughter's beautiful to me. She's my daughter. I've always called her, you know, my name for her is Sugar and Sweets. Those are the two names I call her. I've been calling her that since she was, 1 year old. Oh, thank you, everyone commenting about Dalynn. Thank you so much. Lisa says, I did a great job prepping. What would I do now if everything was perfect in your rig? And what would you do now if everything was perfect? The one thing, if you're talking about the truck, the one thing right now that's at the top of my wish list is to be able to stand up. If I had to do this all over again, I would only buy a rig. Sorry about that. I would only buy a rig that I could stand up in. When I bought mine, I was under the false impression that rigs with more headroom were very rare. And as I found out, that's not really the case, that they are out there and you can find them. So that would be the number one thing that I would want. You know, given everything else is perfect in the truck. And that's a big thing. If I wanted to try to raise the roof on the rig, that's a big project. Do I eat healthy on the road? Nahom asks. I'm going to answer this kind of in a non-answer. I never really ate healthy in my life, I guess. You know, I'm not like a health food person, anything like that. I eat a lot of meat, potato, you know, canned vegetable kind of stuff, salads every once in a while. And that's pretty much the same stuff that I eat on the road. So, I mean, on the health scale, probably not the healthiest diet, but it's kind of the same as what I've always eaten in my life. And, oh, here's a good question. Enzo, when fully stocked, how long can you go without having to resupply? What's the limiting factor? Water, food, fuel. So the longest I've stayed out is 20 days. And I wanted to get more groceries. I didn't have to. I had food to eat, but I would have been down to the food that I didn't really like, you know, like soups and things like that. So I try to treat myself well. I try not to make myself go through that kind of like first world struggle where the only food I have is not really at the top of my list. So I will go back and get more food. I normally was going into town like over the 7 months in the winter, I was going into town every 11 days and grocery shopping. And it's always for groceries. I never got low on water, fuel, you know, the truck. I don't use fuel when I'm stationary. So I was running the diesel heater most every night over the winter, but it hardly uses any fuel. The truck has it's a 55-gallon tank. I had thought it was 60-gallon, but it's actually 55. So it's always food that I go to restock for, and only because I want to get more good food. You know, I don't want to eat the stuff that's in the back of the cabinet. So that's a good question. Tom says he'll buy my truck anytime. You know, there's going to be a day when I'm sure that I'm going to want to maybe switch to something different. And so there could be a day when my truck will be for sale so that I can get into a different rig. Not anytime soon, but I'm sure that day will come. So I'll put you on my list, Tom. 95 F350 for $10,000 with 110,000 miles on it. Your husband said no. Paula, you got to talk to him. 95 F350. Huntington, Tennessee. So that's no rust. 110,000 miles, $10,000. I would like to see that sell for more like 7,500 because of that year. That's a pretty old rig. What the heck was going on down there?
I didn't know I was in the camera as soon as.
Well, yes, it's pointed out. Let him in here.
Lefty's going on.
Hey, buddy. Give me my slipper. He's got my slipper. Campulance cookbook. Actually, I'm going to start a new segment on the channel. It's going to be called Fleet Feasts, and I'm going to show the different meals. My daughter came up with that name. Her and I were talking one day, and I said, yeah, I want to show people like how I make some of the food, but I got to think of a name. And she says, Fleet Feasts. So, because I like to use the alliteration in my segment names. Paula, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of your name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. How's Lefty's water intake? Nahom asks. Lefty drinks, his bowl is a half a gallon, and he drinks, I'm going to say he drinks that bowl every day. I fill it all the time, so it's not like I don't fill it till it empties. So I don't really know exactly because I'm always filling it. Because when he drinks, like when he comes in hot and starts drinking, I like him to be able to let his tongue go way down to the bottom. And the bowl is this deep, so he can really hammer on it. Like I can hear a difference if the water's only like that deep. But when it's full, he hammers on it. And I watch it go down. I can literally watch the water level go down when he's really drinking. He'll bring it down like that much in one session. Chris, thank you for that. $20. Those will go for Lefty Snacks. How's that, brother? Thank you. Thank you very much. Isn't that a good name, Fleet Feast? Thank you, Kim. Lisa, thank you. What's the upgrade path? Wingnut Stickman is asking. No, I really like the FL60, the Freightliner. You know, I showed that one of Jim's out there in Arizona, and I was really impressed with the size. I could stand up easily in that with headroom above, the cabinets. He had a Onan generator that somebody had given him, and it fit into one of his outside cabinets with room to spare. That is a big rig. And the cab with the extended, like he had a bed at one time behind the front seats, and it has air driver seat plus air ride in the cab and everything in the house. So a lot of people, there's actually one for sale in this area right now that just came up from Florida. And I've been eyeing that thing. It's just, I was really impressed. So I think probably right now at the top of my list would be a Freightliner, FL60, medium duty ambulance, medium duty. Corina, can you talk about where you typically park? If you're talking about, you know, the camping locations, they're all BLM, Bureau of Land Management, or they are National Forest land. So free to camp on, typically 14-day, and then you're supposed to move. I don't want to talk about how that's not really enforced in some locations, but it's not. But in other locations, it is. I know the rangers that patrol those areas are stretched thin, just like a lot of government agencies. And in some areas, I'm assuming they just don't have the manpower to roust people after 14 days. If you watch my videos over the winter, you know that. So that it's always on BLM land or National Forest land. And I find it all. I used to use freecampsites.net, but now I got a couple of apps. One of them, that iOverlander app. A lot of you know that, I'm sure. And another app called Dirt, DYRT. And there's a lot of apps that have popped up for finding camping. So, but those two I've been using more recently. Tom says, where is the FL60? I need something ASAP. It's on Facebook. Look on Facebook Marketplace for Rochester and search for ambulance. It's red. It was on there still a couple days ago. It was a good price too. He only wanted $7,900, and it looks clean. So look on Facebook Market Rochester. So now it's a race to see all of you who can get there first. Are you taking advantage of freebies for stays like wineries? The only place I've ever done that at, I stayed at Walmart when I was in Colorado and we had that snowstorm and I was ill. I stayed in Walmart for 2 nights in the park, which actually made me feel a lot better because I really didn't feel well at all. And I didn't want to be out by myself feeling that sick. And then when Lefty and I were traveling before on our way from Quartzsite, when we went up to Nevada, we stayed that one night at that Blue Water Casino up in Parker, Arizona. So that's the only time I've stayed in, a situation like that where it's a business and they let you stay there. Good question.
I'm gonna head out because Ford's outside.
You're going?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by, sweetheart. Make sure you say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
she's got her dog outside. I guess Lefty and her got in a little scrap.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because they haven't done that.
No.
All right, go take care of her.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Aw. Yeah, Lefty and Blue have been really good this year. She's, she was found on the side of the expressway. We don't know her history. She was non-socialized entirely. She wouldn't, if a dog came up to her, if Lefty came up to her, she would bare her teeth and just freeze. You've seen that in dogs. They freeze. And, hey. Come here. She would bare her teeth, and she wasn't playful with people either, but now she is. And her and Lefty have been doing really good this year, but I guess just not right now today for some reason. If you want more headroom, consider adding a pop top to your rig. Yeah, if you mean like cutting a hole in the roof, that's a way to do it. I was thinking about trimming the roof and raising it. I was going to stop over to my fabricator while I'm here and ask him what he thinks of that idea. It's doable. It's just, what's it take? We're going to need an overhead crane to lift the roof up after we cut it. Going to need some material, some beams, and then some flat material. It's doable. I think that's the way I would do it if I was going to go for more headroom. Big Dave, where's the place to look for ambulances online? The place that I see them the most is Facebook Marketplace. I see them on Craigslist still. Facebook Marketplace, they seem to be all over. And here in Rochester, I look and I found, 12 in the Rochester area, just taking a look at it one day. So Facebook Market is where I would start. And Craigslist. Mr. Muskie, if you hit the lotto, would you still do the nomad thing? I would. But I might become, more of a glamper. Like really set up with a lot of gear and a lot of stuff, and maybe in a really shiny some kind of rig, maybe one of those Winnebago Echoes, those new ones there that look really awesome that are like $180,000. It's a good question. Now home, $10. Thank you, everybody. I don't know how current I'm reading the comments. I might be a little behind because I'm trying to not let them zoom by. So if you do a donation and I don't say thank you immediately, that's why, and I'm sorry for that. Terry, you're joining late. Congratulations on 10K. Thank you. Honest and authentic. I hope, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where, and I'm sure you've seen them, the person that's on there does not come across as very genuine or they're scripted. And I've done a couple of videos where I've scripted it, and I'm sure you can tell. And I don't like doing those kind. I really don't. I much prefer to talk more spontaneously, and I hope that comes across. Sometimes I'll prepare for doing a video by just running through in my head what I want to talk about and maybe some actual phrases that I'll use. But I've stopped writing things down because I didn't like the way it felt doing those videos. And probably you can tell just by watching them that I wasn't as comfortable as when I'm just chatting with the camera in my hand, Can we see? Yes, I'm sorry. He's mad now, so he's laying down there grumbling because Blue is gone. See if I can get him to jump up in the chair. Glamper got a thumbs up. Class A. I see. I hesitate to even say that I would consider that because I kind of make fun of the glampers in their Class A's with the 30-foot matching trailer behind it. Got to be really comfortable as heck, but I don't know that that's me. I would want something more kind of compact and svelte. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah. Yeah, Lisa agrees. Facebook Market has a lot of them. They do. They absolutely do. Wow, Glampin's getting a lot of thumbs up. That's awesome. Dana says most of the ambulances on Facebook she sees are in Texas or the Northeast. That's interesting. Interesting. Now, you remember you can search Craigslist for the whole country, and so you can see them from all over the place. Hey, Left. Hush up. Sorry. Paula would like an update video on the air conditioner while boondocking with the solar panels. Yeah, I definitely can. Now that we're in warmer weather. Hey. Go ahead. I'm going to let him out for a minute because he's grumbling. And it only gets louder. He starts at a low grumble, and it gets louder and louder. So I'm going to let him run free for a minute. Yeah, I can do, now that the weather's warm, I can show the air conditioner. And I know there's a lot of interest in being able to run an air conditioner off of the solar system. Now, you know, I cannot run the air conditioner overnight. You would need a massive battery bank to have enough power to run an air conditioner overnight. People can do it. If you ever watched Bus Grease Monkey, he's a great channel. He's like a Greyhound Trailways kind of bus mechanic. He has one, an old Silverside, beautiful bus. He goes around and meets people and helps them fix their buses, or they come to his property and he fixes them. But he's got a massive solar system, and he runs, I think, 2 air conditioners through the night off his battery bank. So I can't run my system overnight. And in fact, when the sun starts to set and the panels aren't getting nice angle of sunlight, my batteries will start to go down. My air conditioner pulls like 440 watts, which isn't, that's not, no, I'm sorry, 410 watts. My vacuum cleaner pulls 440, more than the air conditioner. So it's not a ton of power, but over time, it's going to bring the batteries down once the sun starts going down. So on a summer day like today, when I'm in the sun, I can run the AC up until about 7 o'clock, and the batteries will still be at 100%. Then, because of the angle, the batteries will start going down slowly at first, and then as the sun gets at a steeper and steeper angle, the batteries will start to really fade. But that's I've wanted to do a real in-depth video on that, so I will. That'll definitely be coming up. Gotta leave these balloons. Gotta leave to get balloons for your daughter's birthday. Well, tell her happy birthday. And thank you, Dana. I'm glad you were here. Thank you very much. Can you cut? Oh boy. Can you cut a bit of the floor and accomplish the extra height? I don't think so, because right below the floor, you've got the drive shaft. I've never really investigated that. I'd like to say no 100%, but I'm not going to, because I haven't really looked at it. But I've been under the truck enough times, and I know the drive shaft is up in, like right under the floor of the truck, I'm pretty certain. So I don't think that there's anything to be had there, no. White Van Man, good to see you, brother. You're one of my longest subscribers. You're from the UK. I know that. Thank you for being here. What time is it over there? I have no idea. So I'm glad you're here. Excellent. Do I run the AC with the doors closed? Do I run the AC with the doors closed? Do I run? Yeah, when I run the air conditioner, everything is closed up. I hope that's what you're asking. I think it is. Yeah, the more closed up it is, the better to run the air conditioner. So no warm air is coming in. Paul Davis, thank you. Thank you for that. Glad your channel is doing so well. Dorothy asked, do I have a compost toilet? And no, I use a bucket outside in my shower tent. My shower tent doubles as my daily toilet. So my bucket stays out there. And I'll tell you, when I first went on the road, I didn't have that shower tent. So I was getting my bucket from one of my outside cabinets, bringing it inside in the truck by the door and using it. I never liked doing that, but I didn't have an alternative. Then when I set up that outside shower tent and started keeping the bucket out there all set up and ready to go, that made a huge difference. So if you're not having a toilet built into your truck, get a shower tent, put your bucket out there, keep it set up. So it's almost like walking into your bathroom in your house. You don't have to do any prep. You just walk out there, get in the tent, and do what you got to do. Good question. I never really wanted to have one inside, and that's just me. A lot of people do, but I never did, because to me, it's about sacrificing space. And for something that I'm going to use for 17 seconds a day, I didn't want to sacrifice space. That's Tom, thank you. I will always try to keep my videos just like they are. Yeah, I've had some comments from people that really hit me right here, that they said, boy, they've really noticed my videos lately are getting better. And to hear that is really good, because I've been putting more work into them. You guys would shudder if I told you how many hours I spend on some of these videos, because I really have fun doing the editing. I go over them and over them, and I want them to be as good as I can make them. And I'm learning new things to do in the software. And so I really like it when people are noticing that I'm making them better. I really like that. Wingnut. Worst thing about those YouTube channels is fake enthusiasm. I think the majority of us can kind of see through that, but not everybody does. And so somebody's scripted or fake yay, yeah, I don't appreciate that kind of stuff. But everybody's different. If I script it, Lefty makes you go improv real fast. Good point. Well, you see, I include some bloopers sometimes where I start talking. You guys don't know how much footage I actually throw out. A good part of it because of Lefty. And I don't include all that. Sometimes I use bad words if he's doing it over and over again. I hate to say, but he gets me sometimes. He really does. Jacqueline, glamp in your tent. You can glamp in your mind wherever you want, right? What are the exterior dimensions of my rig? I have limited parking and I'm buying a local auction. Overall, it is 23 feet long. And that's all I have in my head. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you the width off the top of my head. And I know it's 8.5 feet tall. But I don't have the width in my head. I'm sorry. I have it all written down, but I don't have that notebook with me. I fit into a regular parking space width-wise, not length. Width-wise, it'll fit in a regular parking space, but 23 feet long. And remember, I have that bike carrier also. So when I say 23 feet, that's not even including my bike carrier that sticks out even farther. So that's probably another 2.5 feet on top of that. So I'm probably 25 feet overall, I'll bet you. Terry says you need to be nimble, which a Class A doesn't permit. I agree to that. I agree. And that's one of the reasons I was never really interested in that. Tin Pan Dog. Yo, Dave from Illinois. Jacqueline talks about bad clickbait. That's, yeah, some of my titles, I'm trying to make my titles expressive of what's in the video, but also a little bit interesting to maybe bring somebody over that doesn't know me yet. And I've had a couple people say, hey, that was clickbaity of you. So I don't know. I don't feel guilty of clickbait. Scott, idea, a whole video of just bloopers. Yeah, well, I've got folders of unused video files. Hours and hours and hours and hours of unused files that just didn't really fit into what I was putting up on YouTube. So I keep them all because you never know, but that's a good idea. It would be more than one video. Mr. Muskie, Western North Carolina looks ideal to head to versus the West, to me at least. Western North Carolina. if it has elevation, and just off the top of my head, I don't know, to keep the temperatures cool. And again, I'm just trying to keep myself as comfortable as I can. I don't want to go where it's 90 degrees. I'd rather it be a max of like 80, mid 70s is ideal. And so there's a lot of great places to go. It's just what's your specific thing that you're looking for, and I try to stay in the mid 70s, maximum 80 if I can. Wait, it's 11 o'clock in the UK. Well, you are a strong man for being here on YouTube with me at 11 p.m. I would be so sound asleep right now. You're nearly finished with your build. Send some pics for sure. I did that segment in the video there with fleet photos. If you guys want a picture to be put in, if you want pictures to be shared in a video, email them to me and tell me that you because I won't share something that somebody hasn't told me that they want to be shared. I absolutely wanted to share the info that Ed had cut that pass through, and he was gracious enough to let me share his photos and send them to me. But if you guys want to show off your rig, by all means, email it to me and you'll get popped into a fleet photo segment. That would be great. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. These are knit caps with, I'm holding them to the laptop screen. That's not going to work, David. You got to hold them to the camera. These are embroidered patches. So what I was going to do was send some of these out to some of you folks that have contributed there on the super chat as a thank you. So I will figure out how to get your addresses. I'll contact you guys. If you've given me a super chat on this video, how about this? Send me an email and I can get your shipping address that way. Okay. I would really like to do that. These are prototypes. So there's nothing wrong with them. They're fine hats. But I'd like to send these out to you guys that have super chatted. So shoot me an email. Terry, a new subscriber. Do I travel to other parts of the country? It's like Asheville is beautiful. Yeah, I've been mainly out west. New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Colorado. Excuse me. But I'm looking to branch out into some different areas. So thank you for that. Yeah, for that tip. Am I going to put a sink in? Scott asks. As a matter of fact, Scott, that's a good question. The sink is laying in the garage right now, and it is going to be installed here very soon. So that's going to be in an upcoming video from this New York visit. I've got a few other things that I'm working on. There was a question I wanted to answer, actually. Someone asked, what is the mouse deterrent that I would put under the truck before? It was just a light. It wasn't really like a mouse deterrent. It was just an LED light. From everything I've read, the mice don't like light. And if you can light up your engine bay or the underside of your rig, you got a much better chance of mice not coming around because they want to be in the dark. So I was just putting, it was actually an extra LED light. I was putting that under the truck, like under the engine compartment every night, shining up on the engine and kind of towards the back of the truck. That light, unfortunately, is somebody else's fleet find because I forgot it when we pulled out of near Pahrump, Nevada, after meeting with Bob Wells. I forgot it at our campsite, drove off, and it hit me an hour down the road that I had forgotten to pick it up. So someone else got my LED light as a fleet find. I'm actually putting some LED lights on the underside of the truck. I'll share that with you guys. That's an upcoming project. I've got them laid out right now, flattening out because they came kind of rolled up. But these are LED light strips that are specific for under for undercarriage mounting, sealed inside these plastic tubes that are waterproof. So those are going to be added. So I'm going to be able to have very bright undercarriage lights, whatever color I want. I can make them flash to the music. And so I'll look like Fast and Furious driving down the road if I want to. Wingnut says, go to Madawaska, Maine, 63 degrees today. Oh, I would love that. Today, it actually cooled off here. It was only 80 today. 2 days ago, you guys saw in the video how muggy it was here and how much I was sweating. Well, 2 days ago, I came back from our morning walk, and I was this close to heat stroke. I came home, drank a bottle of Gatorade. I jumped in the shower. I got out of the shower. I couldn't stop sweating. I was getting kind of dizzy feeling. I've done this before. I had to sit down in the floor and put 2 fans on me. And then for the next several hours, I just had to kind of lay down because I was feeling, fuzzy in the head. So I overdid it with Lefty. It was so humid. I must have sweat a gallon that morning on our walk. And so I had to, the next day I took him for an abbreviated walk closer to home because that was just scary. It was just so hot and humid here that it was not safe. So 63 degrees sounds really inviting right now. Tin Pan Dog, new to your channel. It's interesting. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Traveling Trails. I've chatted with the Manbulance. Really, really nice ambulance. Can't believe he sold it. Maybe his next year will work out. Any kinks? Okay. Man, I don't know who that is. I'll have to look them up. Dorothy, thank you. 1999. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Your subscribers are all the better for it. Thank you for my pearls of wisdom. I don't know about wisdom, but I always have a lot to say. I've had some people leave comments on some of my videos say, man, you talk too much. I don't know what else I'm going to do in the video. It's kind of a point the camera face. That's what YouTube is to me. I mean, there are some sets where there's no talking, where you're watching the deer or the elk run, or you're watching me and Lefty play in the snow. But for the most part, it's just me and yapping. Katie in New Hampshire. Hello from Southern New Hampshire. Hi, Katie. Thank you for being here. Yes, Kim, thumbs up on the undercarriage light. I'm really excited to get them under there. And they look really heavy duty. I'll share them with you guys in the video, but there's a bazillion LED light kits for sale on Amazon. So I spent a bunch of time reading reviews like all of us do, and I picked a set. I'm impressed with the quality of the strips and how they are sealed up, and they look weather resistant to me, which is what they're advertised as being. So once I get them installed and using them, you guys will get a look at them for sure. Paula, how do you get a Lefty sticker? Paula, you send me an email and let me know what your address is. I'll send you one. Thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. So anyone that wants to get a sticker, I have the links down in my video description. I do still have some of the, the stickers that are this logo here. I got maybe 20 of those left. They're getting kind of thin. I've got a bunch of Lefty stickers left still. I ordered a higher quantity of them. So there's always links down in my video descriptions. Some people don't like PayPal, so I put that my daughter said people use Cash App and Venmo. So, Cash App I've heard of, Venmo I'd never heard of. So I put both of those. I set up accounts in both of those. And so they're available if you don't like PayPal, if you want to get a sticker. So they're always down in the video description. Actually, there's something I really wanted to thank. Deborah, I don't know that if I've seen you in the comments here. So today, the UPS truck pulled up. And when I'm here, packages are coming every day, Amazon stuff every day. UPS truck pulled up, and not your average UPS truck. This is a big one. And the guy brought a box. It's actually this box sitting right back here. And I met him in the driveway, but I didn't know what the heck this was. So I opened it up, and this is elevated dog bed. So I created this Amazon wish list, which I don't know what they are, but I created one, and I didn't know how they worked. And Deborah went on that wish list and bought the Lefty bed, and it got shipped to me. And it was weird because Amazon didn't notify me. I didn't get an email. I didn't get like an app notification. I had no idea anybody had ever even visited the wish list, but she wanted Lefty to have this dog bed. So Deborah, I hope you're watching. If you don't watch it now, but you watch the video after the live stream, thank you so much. I'm going to unpack this for everybody to see tomorrow, and we're going to get Lefty up in this thing. And this is going to replace the KTM chair, you know, the orange chair. But one of you, oh gosh, I can't remember who it was. So the KTM chair has been with us for a long time, and it's been Lefty's chair. Someone had the idea of, why don't I cut the cushion off of it and turn it into a pillow for Lefty to keep it for sentimental reasons? Because my daughter gave me that. And so it does have a lot of sentimental value to me. So Mom is taking care of that project. She's cut the back part of it off that has the KTM logo on it, and she's going to add some more stuffing, and we're going to use it as a Lefty pillow. I thought that was an awesome, awesome idea. Lisa, that was you? Thank you. It's happening. That was a great Deb. Okay, so you are here. Yes, Deb, thank you so much. Yeah, it showed up today. Really surprised. Like I said, Amazon didn't notify me at all. So thank you. I didn't open it yet because I want to do it with Lefty and have the camera turned on so that you can see it. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning. We're going to get it set up. Thank you so much. That was a real surprise. It was really great because I order sometimes. So many things are coming from Amazon that I lose track, but I knew I hadn't ordered something in a box that big. That was crazy. Big Dave asked, do I still travel with a motorcycle? I haven't seen it in a while. So that's supposed to be a secret that I guess I have to answer. I sold the Kawasaki. I got a new bike coming. It's actually on order. So I started with the orange bike, the KTM. Wasn't working out well for me. It tried to kill me a couple times. Way too big and fast of a bike for me. So I got the Kawasaki, way more comfortable on it, but I quickly realized it was not enough bike for me. So I was able to sell it and carry through enough money that I could order this other bike that I think is going to be the answer. It's kind of a step above the Kawasaki, but nowhere near what the KTM was. So that's going to be coming up. And that's actually what I was talking about earlier that's delayed. It was supposed to be here about a week from now originally, and now it's delayed about a month. So that's why I'm going to be spending more time around New York than I was originally planning for. So good question. Cat's out of the bag now. Goldilocks and the three motors. Exactly. This one was too fast. This one was too slow. And now I'm going for the one in the middle. It was really great, though. I was out in Arizona when I was in Williams, and I kind of said, okay, I went and ordered the other bike and put it on Facebook Marketplace. And 2 days later, a guy came and met me at the campsite there and bought the bike for what I was asking for it, because used bike prices are pretty strong right now. King of the Coop, hi from South Texas. Excellent. Yeah, Lisa, that was very generous of Deb. That really generous. You slip away. Yes, I have a trailer hitch on that the bike carrier mounts into the trailer hitch. I had that trailer hitch custom fabricated, and it's welded to the frame back there. It's I think it's, what do you call it, class 3, very strong, because I told the fabricator I was going to be carrying a bike carrier. So that's a lot of tongue weight. So it's a real heavy duty trailer hitch. And I haven't had any issues. I've been carrying a bike around for pretty much 2 years and I haven't had any issues with it. Paul had a 790 KTM to a TW200. Yeah. That's quite a jump. Holy smokes. Wow. Quite a jump. Saw an ambulance today with a big coffee cup sticker on it. I guess they're for people having a coffee emergency. That's good. You could have a real kind of catchy business using an ambulance, right? There was one I saw. Where was that? It was, oh yeah, someone sent me a link to a couple of rigs that were for sale that they wanted me to give opinion on. And one of them had been for, it was like a party bus service. So the inside, it had like leopard skin seat covers and hearts, and in an ambulance. The outside of the ambulance was like totally stock, looked like an ambulance, except for their like logo that was a couple of hearts or something like that. And it was for, picking up people at a bar and taking them to another bar. I took it to be that kind of business, but really strange. It's like the love emergency or something like that. So you can do all kinds of stuff with an ambulance in a business like that. Robert asked about the ambo. Does it have airbags? It does not. I know too. It's got leaf springs in the back. Yeah, leaf springs. Yeah. It could have a better ride. That's a big heavy duty truck. It's got that twin I-beam front suspension with coil springs. So it's not the most plush riding vehicle. And I wouldn't mind someday trying to come up with a better suspension system in there. And that might mean airbags. I did replace the front shocks, which definitely improved it, but they're just Monroe, like Gasmatics. They're nothing special, but it's it drives like a big, heavy van truck kind of thing. Not real plush. Ambulance would make a good food poisoning truck. Give you the runs and then run you in. So get you sick and then take you to the hospital. Yep. It's like a full service. Oh, you were asking about running the air conditioner, keeping the door open. Yeah, when I run the AC, I have to keep that cabinet door open. So the downside to that, I found when I pulled into like a rest area, excuse me, when I pulled into a rest area to spend the night and wanted to run the air conditioner, I had to open that cabinet door at a rest stop. I was parked in a place so that side of my truck was the last spot. So nobody was going to pull up on that side and park, but it is something to think about. Normally opening the cabinet is not an issue, but when you're in a place like a public place, staying overnight with the AC on, and I didn't run it till probably 9 o'clock. It was really hot that night. I actually had the generator started up at the rest stop, running the air conditioner because I wanted to run it later into the night because it was really hot. But I had to keep that cabinet door open, which was a little uncomfortable because I have some stuff in that cabinet. If I was going to be doing that a lot, I would take all that stuff out or put some kind of cover lock on it so that nobody could steal anything out of there. Lisa says the ambulance literally saved my life. I look and sound so much healthier than working 95. I think so. I'm going to share a little something with you guys. Last year when I was here, the last time I left here, it was September when I was in Colorado. And I was really trying to put weight on. I wasn't able to. I was too skinny. You can see it in the videos. I look back at those videos. I was too skinny. I couldn't keep weight on. I've always been thin, but that was pretty bad. And the best I got up to when I was here last September was 170 pounds, which is way lighter than I normally am. And so we go and we spend the winter in Arizona. I come back. First day I came back here a few weeks back, I stepped on the scale, 185.5 pounds. So I put on 15 pounds over the winter, and I chalked that up to, like, internally I was way more leveled, but also having built out the infrastructure in the truck better, you know, with the second refrigerator, the refrigerator and the freezer and the air fryer, and really focusing on all that and being a lot more calm. But I put on 15 pounds over the winter. So, and I've put on another 2 pounds since I've been here, I'm sorry to say. So if you see my t-shirts are all really tight, it's because I'm getting fat. What has been the biggest problem on your ambulance motor? King of the Coop. Good question. The biggest problems on the engine, I haven't had anything that's stopped it from running ever. I am still getting that P1211 code. You know, I replaced that sensor, and then, you know, I knew that the drive back across the country was going to be the test to see if that solved my issue. That code came on 3 times coming across the country on some really, like, the longest, steepest uphills. The truck ran better than ever coming across. So I think the sensor was definitely not functioning perfectly, the one that I took out, because the engine had never run better. It was climbing everything without me having to really push down on it more. It was holding speed going up these hills. Like before, I would always have to really bury my foot in it. So something was different, and I attribute it to that sensor. So I'm still getting that code. I'm actually working with some guys on one of the truck forums right now because I want to solve that. You know, it doesn't stop the engine from running, but obviously there's some underlying issue, but it still runs. I've never really had any issues with the 7.3 that kept it from running. I just do regular maintenance, oil changes and air filters, and changed the coolant out, did a coolant flush and fill. But I haven't had any runnability issues that kept, you know, that have stranded me. It's a good question. Can I explain how I put the solar panels on? Dana, it's a good, I've got videos showing like exactly how I put them on there. If you look back, I used the Z brackets. So a lot of people, there's different schools of thought. You want to have an air gap between the panels and the roof to allow air to pass through there for cooling. So the Z brackets allow, it's about 3 inches of air gap between the panels and the roof, which I think is good. So I have the Z brackets. I use some 3M 4950 VHB tape, double-sided tape. So you sand the roof, clean it with isopropyl alcohol, clean the bracket with isopropyl, put the tape on there. The bracket is on the panel, obviously. Put the tape on it and then stick it down to the roof and then put screws through it. So it's double-sided VHB tape and screws. But I have that in my videos. If you search on my channel for solar, the word solar, you should find those videos easily. And it shows a lot of detail about how I did it. If you need any questions, just shoot me an email and I'll answer them for you. Okay. Do you think Lefty could have his passenger attachment for the new motorcycle in the future? He wanted to go with you. Yeah, that's something I've struggled with and I know I would ride the bike a lot more if I didn't have to leave him behind. And it's something that I've tried to get him on a bike. He just won't do it. I can't get him to get on it. I wish I had started that when he was younger. But you know, one day I would like to, you know, I've thought about getting a side-by-side, but that means I got to tow a trailer. So that's a whole thing. So right now the bike is where I'm at. I just can't take him with me, but I'm hoping that someday I can get something else that will allow us to leave the truck at the camp and go off on some, whether it's a four-wheeler or a side-by-side, the both of us, to go take trips around and go into town and such? That's a good question. Mr. Muskie, glad I gave up on the MREs. Yeah, those, they just don't have enough, they don't have enough calories and stuff in them to keep you fattened up, obviously. And I didn't really think about that at the time. To me, I talked about how I made some mistakes when I went on the road. And one of my big mistakes was not building my truck out well for cooking. I talked about it in a video once. I was never really a big cook guy. I like to eat, but I never really liked to make food. And so that kind of showed in the way I designed and built my truck. I didn't build a lot of that stuff into it. So that was a big mistake I made. And the MREs were part of that mistake for sure. And plus, some of them were just horrible. Some were okay, but some were really bad. And I was buying them back when you could get 2 cases of them, 24 meals for $99. When the whole pandemic thing hit, that same exact seller on eBay was charging $399, $400. So they went from $100 to $400, and that guy had sold like 1,000 of them. He was making a killing. I know he was happy. Hard to find a helmet in the shape of a dog's head. Yeah, especially his knucklehead. NetL is the code reader on Amazon that you bought. Yeah, if you click my Amazon link, it'll take you to Amazon, and it's in one of my lists. I think like the electronics list. It's in one of my lists for sure. I know that. I think it's the electronics list. Road not taken. Wish I had that problem. I'm guessing you're talking about being too thin, right? Yeah, I mean, I had to really work. When I went back on the road after last time here, I was drinking these protein shakes like every day, all this stuff to try to get weight on me. I was really pushing myself. And then over the months out there, I finally started to put some weight on, and I think I'm okay now, up in the, the low 180s. I think I'm okay now. Yeah, Dana, send me an email too. That's a good idea. Congrats for the channel. I purchased the same ambulance. You're using an additive oil, several actually. Which one was the best for you and you think it's worth it? Well, I tried that Rev X one time, and they say you only need to do that one time, and that's if you're having bad stiction problems. And it's expensive. It was, I can't remember, but it was, it's not $20. It's like $100. But it's a one-time deal. And it's supposed to fix your stiction, really extreme stiction. But day to day, I don't put any additives in my oil. I did it that one time. I tried the Hot Shots before that, and then I did the Rev X. And to be honest, I didn't notice any difference in the runnability or the starting after either of them. And I talked to some guys, and they said, well, if you didn't notice a difference, then you really didn't have a stiction problem, meaning there was nothing to fix. There was nothing for the additives to fix. So that's why. So I haven't been putting any additives in since I did the Rev X, actually. That's a good question. Yeah, the Hot Shot stiction. That's the one I tried. Yeah. And from what I understand, you put it in, and if you notice a difference, that means that you needed it. But if you don't notice any difference, then you didn't have the stiction problem. Rambo had its own AC and white. Yeah, the rig's AC and heat systems, the truck has to be running for those to work. And if you've ever, those of you that have a 7.3 rig, when that's running, that's not comfortable to sit in the back in the house. The vibration, the sound, the fumes. That's not, you don't want to be running your rig on a hot day to run the air conditioner. So that's why they have to have the engine running for sure. After you build on an ambulance, can you live travel on $1,900 gas, food, and etc. a month? I'm assuming you're saying. Well, I don't know if you don't have any past fixed costs, like I mean, for the actual living part of it, absolutely, that's way more money than you need for a month. If food, gas, water, that's way more than you need. Absolutely way more. You don't need $1,900. If I've spent $1,900 on food and water, I'd be this big around right now. I'm telling you. Legally, what lights need to be removed and paint decals need to be covered. So legally, from my understanding and all my conversations and readings, none of the lights need to be removed. They just can't be turned on. You can't turn on red or blue lights because you'd be emulating police or fire. You don't have to remove them. They just can't be turned on. And I see a lot of rigs that still have the red lenses on there. It's fine. And then as far as the stickers and all that, from what I understand, again, legally you don't have to remove them. But many insurance companies want you to remove them because they it's a business if it has signage on it. And I remember when I got my insurance with Geico, I had to sign that form that said that I didn't have any signage on the outside of the truck, telephone numbers, business names, anything like that. So stickers, not illegal, just insurance companies many times won't allow it to have insurance coverage. Good question. Really good question. Binge watching all my videos. Thank you for that. I have a hard time watching some of the older videos just because I was stressed. I looked worn out in some of them. So I guess the good thing about watching from the beginning up till current is you can see a change in me and my life. And that's why I wanted to do the videos originally, was to show what it's like to leave a home and a job and start living in a rig and building the rig and what it would do. So I think from what people are telling me, I was able to capture that in the videos. I just don't like going back and looking at some of them. I'm used to having the engine running in order to have the AC going because I live on on a semi truck. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the semi trucks, semis sit all night with the engines running to run that. And yeah, but you're working, right? That's why you're at work. So sleeping in a truck with air conditioning running and the truck is running, for work, that's okay. Yeah. But for laying back watching Netflix in the middle of the afternoon, I wouldn't want to have the truck running. And maybe the semis, because maybe their insulation and their sound deadening is way better, but inside of the house of my rig, when it's running, it's vibration-y, and I'd rather just have the window unit humming away over there. Did I get to meet the Geico Gecko? I did not. I talked to a nice young lady there, though, who got me insurance. Some states require no forward-facing red lights. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. Are you sure they won't allow them, or they just won't allow them turned on? As long as the red and blue lights aren't visible from the front, you can run them. Okay, didn't know that. Took me to watch all your videos, Tom. You're glutton for punishment. Peter R., I probably should. Yeah, watch my solar videos. You're going to see one where 3 of my panels blew off during the most massive windstorm I've ever been through. But I figured out why, and I solved that. So it'll be a good part of those videos. Will be a good learning experience. Yeah. Every time I laugh out loud, you'll take a sip of your cocktail. You must be loaded by now. It's good that I'm laughing more compared to your first videos. Yeah, thank you. It is. It feels better. Absolutely. Any more sciatica problems? Honestly, I am, after I got here, I mean, that healed up fine and it never happened again after that one incident. But since I came here, the 4 days in the driver's seat irritated me. And it reminded me that I used to have like a little kind of butt hip pain on my right side. I used to sit on my wallet like a dumpski, right? While driving and at work and all that. And then a few years ago at work, I finally one day was like, man, this is uncomfortable. And I finally started taking my wallet out of my pocket. But I think I might have, damage already done kind of thing. And that's kind of the same feeling I'm feeling right now. It's not a pain. It's just a little bit of a soreness. So if I had to generalize it, like I think I got something going on. It's not super serious, but I got something going on. And I think maybe the sciatica thing that I had happen was a part of that. So, I'll just add that to my list of things I need to take care of. I hope it's not serious, honestly. Peter R., everything you make seems easy and tasty. Yeah, again, not a super fan of cooking, but I've come to enjoy doing it in the truck because I have a ton of time. Like, cooking when I was working a job, cooking was always, you got to come home from work, you got to cook something to eat, you got to get into bed so I can get up to go to work the next day. So it was always trying to crank out some kind of food more often than not, buying something to eat instead of cooking. But I've really come to enjoy cooking in the truck because I have all the time in the world. And so sometimes I start getting out all the ingredients and running through it in my head and like, God, it's going to take a while. And I'm like, okay. And I just start making it. And if it's an hour and a half later, I'm finally sitting down to eat it. That's fine. Tom says, go to a chiropractor. Yeah, I think so. Randy from Michigan. How you been, buddy? Long time no see. Did you hear me talking earlier? I sold the Kawasaki. I got another one coming. Hopefully this is going to be the one. Yeah. You still got your Yamaha? Kenneth Huff, we don't miss any of your videos. Very inspiring. Thank you. And we love Lefty. Thank you. A lot of people with the love for Lefty. I honestly, he fills such a big part of my days when we're out camping and on the road. I don't know if I would be doing it if I didn't have him. And that's a pretty dramatic thing to say, but I can't imagine my days without him. So much of my time and my thoughts are having to do with him. So I don't know if I would be doing it if I didn't have him with me. I don't know. I don't know what I would do all day. He's a great companion to have. Yeah, Deb, if you start getting tipsy, you got to cut back. You like the color I chose for the Campulance? Tin Pan Dog. Yeah, it's when I was over at the paint shop there. So I found this painter. My barber is actually a friend of my barber's, and I was talking to him one day, and it turned out he went to school with this guy, I think it was, and he just opened his own paint shop. So I called the guy up. We agreed on a price. I went over there. He pulled out his book of swatches, and I went, that one. And, kind of that light tan. I was going for like a military desert vehicle look kind of thing. And the color is called Harvest Moon. It's actually a Volkswagen color, he told me. And I had him spray it in, I didn't want gloss. I had him do it in satin. Not flat, not gloss, but in the middle, satin. So I like the way that came out, that satin look. I really like that. Stuart says you need to change the stock seat to a TV seat. You'll feel better. The stock seat to a TV seat. What is a TV seat, Stuart? What do you mean? You'll feel better. A TV. I don't know what that is. Tell me what that is, Stuart. My wallet pain is from being so empty. That's good. That's good. Randy, okay, or yeah, you still got your Yamaha. Good, good. Wing nut, you don't need a slow cooker when you're a slow cooker. Yeah, I'm the slow cooker now. Nice interior colors. My interior colors, the truck, you know how they come? They're either like gray or they're that deep red color or like a maroon color, and I'm talking like the cushions in the rigs, and mine was the gray color, and so you know, and the cabinets are kind of a light gray. And not wanting to change everything, I said, okay, I've got to build off the gray. So I picked the little stick-on tile backsplashes that are, you know, different shades of gray. I stained the countertops with charcoal colored stain. So not a lot of color going on in there. There's a lot of grays, but I don't mind it. You know, I've seen some other rigs, bright colors inside, and that's great. But I've come to really like the grays and kind of how it stays in the background as far as color. Sherry says she feels the same about Rowdy. He's your road dog. Rowdy's an awesome dog. You guys are a good team, really. Yeah, having a dog. If you're a dog person and you don't have a dog and you're going to go on the road, get a dog. Dogs are great on the road. Really great. Randy, going to Florida. I've been thinking about going to Florida. So you and I got to stay in touch, because if you're going and I think I'm going, then we got to meet each other down there. Don says go see a massage therapist. I would consider that, actually. That sounds interesting. Yup. RV seat. Okay, so not TV is a typo. So an RV seat. So, okay, an RV seat, more like a more comfortable, padded kind of thing. That's an excellent idea, actually. You know, that is a great idea. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that. Thank you. Tom says, good source for solar video, Will Prowess. Yeah, Will is a really smart guy. Will, when I was at the van build back in 2018, is that right? 2018, I think. He was there. He came to speak there at Jamie's van build. That's when I was installing my solar system. So I got to meet him out there. Is the paint covered with clear coat? Dennis says, no, it's a single stage. I did that just to save money, honestly. It's a single stage, satin finish, no coating. Yeah, good question. Thought the TV seat was in a tactical vehicle. That's good. Did the Campulance come with a CB or CB? It didn't. At least one commenter, Billy, he's always promoting use of CBs. So they're obviously still being used. My dad had a CB radio back in the 70s, back Smoking the Bandit and all that. My dad had a 76 Pontiac Granville 2-door with doors that were like 7 feet long. And he had the CB radio with the extra speaker that he mounted over under this side of the dash next to the steering column. So he was living the dream back there in the mid 70s. Peter says Will's voice is a bit painful. Yeah, he's a young guy, so his voice will fill out. I don't have the greatest voice. Mine is really kind of, you know how it is when you hear your own voice. Yeah, people say I sound like I'm from New York. Positive it's sciatica. No, I'm not. But I consulted Dr. Google back when I had that shooting pain there, and everything that I read, it sure sounded like sciatica. Lefty has unconditional love. I hope so. I don't know. I see him all the time. I think other people that they see our relationship, they're like, oh my God, he loves you. I see everything, right? I see the times when he's kind of egging me and he's not doing what I tell him and he's grumbling at me. And then you guys get to see the good parts where he's looking up at me longingly and all that. So, but I know he I'm his guy, right? And he follows me around. Like when I go down the stairs, he follows all around the house here. All around the house. I can't take a step without him being right next to me. And I wish I knew what he was saying all the time. Literally, I know he's saying a lot. Randy gave up on trying to find a ProMaster. Yeah, prices of everything, used vehicles, motorcycles, everything just went crazy lately. So, you know, you're probably just going to wait it out till things kind of correct themselves as far as pricing. Prices jump too high. Yep, I know what you mean. Peter, I'm a New Yorker. I can relate to Dave's voice. I sound like I'm from New York, right? Can't help it. Jim Manley says highway patrols monitor CB channel number 9. For like if you're having an emergency, you say something on channel 9 and they'll hear it. Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Will P is the Sheldon of solar. Yep, he sure is. Sorry, Hybrid Life. Congrats on 10K. Thank you very much. And thank you for saying that it's getting better, the channel. I appreciate that. And you don't have to apologize for being late. Dawn says, if I come to Florida, Gulf Coast, I can set you up with my massage therapist. I just may take you up on that. I'm thinking Florida's on my list of possibilities. Channel 9 is only for emergencies, Jim says. Okay. See, I just remember, wasn't it channel 19 that was just the common everyday channel for, I seem to remember that from back in the 70s. The channel 19 was what everybody used. Channel 19. I can hear my dad saying that. Our Grand Campulance is finally finished. We emulated your hot water system and shower tent, and it works great. That's awesome, Rita. And I mean the hot water heater. What I think I paid like $120 for that on-demand water heater. Those tanks, those 2 water tanks were, I think, like $50 each. So there you're talking $225 and a shower tent and some hose. You know, so now you've got. I've got 32 gallons of onboard water, on-demand hot water, can take a hot shower, for under $300 for all of those goods. And pretty good fun installing it too. Learning, that's my first real like water system install. And now with adding the sink, I'm going to be kind of upgrading some of the hosing. I'm going to switch to some rigid PEX tubing. Where it's not having to go around curves or anything. So I'm going to clean it up, basically, the water system where it goes inside to the sink. It's going to be cleaned up. So it's just a little bit more improved. So look, like I said earlier, look for that coming soon. I'll get videos of all that. Peter R., thank you. Thank you for that. $5 donation. I appreciate it. I don't know how to see. I'm sure there's got to be a way for me to see who all the people who donated, but I can't see that now because I've never done a live stream before. But after this, all of you and me, we're going to be professionals at doing a live stream. And now that I got this one under my belt, I'll do it more frequently. As our Dana says, 19 is for east and west, 17 is for north and south. Okay, well, there's the answer. Excellent. Jim, 19 is the trucker channel. Everyone else who dares to break in. Oh, use it to coordinate moving to any other channel except 9. I see. So you get on 19 and say move to channel 10 or whatever. Okay, gotcha. So to answer the question someone had earlier, yes, CBs are still in use because people are still using them here. Get a 2-meter radio, get a technician license, and get through to someone who will actually help you without all the idiots cussing. That sometimes can be tough. Darlene asked, can I speak of my experience with having Wi-Fi internet service when out and about? Yeah, I shared this in some videos. I use a little hotspot in the truck that with a service that's called Page Plus, that's actually a Verizon reseller. So I have unlimited data. It comes out to $61 a month with all the fees and taxes and all that. And I have had, it's Verizon network. I've had internet in all but 2 places that I've been. And those 2 places, I knew I wasn't going to have coverage. Excuse me, but I wanted to go there anyways. They were so far off the beaten path that there was no cell coverage. So I'm able to, like when I'm driving across the country, I have my head unit, my stereo that's in the cab connected to that hotspot, because that's an Android head unit stereo. So I'm able to stream podcasts on YouTube all the way across the country, interstates. There's typically good cell on the interstates for the most part, all the way across the country. Very rarely does it stop and buffer, but I have signal all the time using that little hotspot in the back. For my phone, I have Visible Wireless, which is also, they're actually owned by Verizon, $40 a month. I just signed my daughter up, so now we're paying $35 a month, unlimited data, hotspot off the phone. Visible, I would recommend for phone service. And I'm actually working on a little project right now. It's hush hush. I'm going to try to switch my hotspot over to Visible and get rid of Page Plus, and that'll bring us down to $30 a month. So that's my data that I do in the truck. Small hotspot, Page Plus, Visible on my phone. Can you build water out of 12-inch PVC pipe? Can you build water ranks? I think you mean racks out of 12-inch PVC pipe. I'm not sure what you're asking, Tom. I'm sorry. Ham license can be useful. Get used to higher prices of newer rigs thanks to Bob Wells making the down low ambulance solution unaffordable now. From what I had been told by many, many people prior to Bob getting his ambulance, that the prices of rigs had already jumped up. So I don't want to blame it on Bob. Bob's just one guy. But ambulances overall had started to become more and more popular as an overland backwoods solution, or for people like us that want to live in them. So I wouldn't blame it on Bob, but I mean, prices of everything have jumped up. Like Randy said, ProMasters have jumped up. Prices on every kind of used vehicle, motorcycles, trucks, cars, has jumped up recently. That's across the board. So hopefully they'll correct. But I will tell you that I still do see rigs at very affordable prices. I actually almost bought one recently. There was one that was auctioning off. It was a 99 E450 7.3, under 100,000 miles. It sold for $38.50. I was actually the high bidder. And then at the last minute, I let it go because as I read the fine print, you had to pick it up in 2 days. And it was in Chicago. And I just didn't feel like pushing myself to drive from New York to Chicago, like in a rental car. So I backed out and I let the next guy win it. But I could have won it. I was the high bidder with only like 4 minutes left. So rigs still, and you might ask, why did I bid on that? Because I was gonna get it and sell it to somebody else. I didn't want it to get let go. I was gonna sell it right off to somebody that needed a rig. Because it was such a good price, I couldn't pass it up, but I ended up just letting it go. So there are still rigs at very affordable prices. I would suggest that people, like if you're shopping for a rig, give yourself as much time as you can. Try not to be trigger happy and jump on one thinking that it's the best you're going to find. People are sending me links to rigs they're looking at that are $20,000. You don't need a $20,000 rig if you're going to take out half of the systems in it. So I'm not going to deep dive down that rabbit hole right now, but there are still rigs out there at decent prices. I didn't notice the stop clock. I'm trying to figure out the monkey, Scott said. Notice the stop clock. I do not know what that means. Gail, hello, joining from Northwest Oregon. Hybrid says we blame you and Paula, not Bob. Well, I hope I'm not to blame. Dana says she would have bought it from me. I mean, if I see a rig, oh, Dalynn is talking. Dalynn's answering Scott. That's a card that she gave her grandpa. Oh, the monkey back there. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm following you. My daughter is on here commenting. Hi, sweetheart. What drivetrains are good other than the 7.3? The Ford 6.7. The 6.0 Ford, everybody knows that it had those head gasket failure problems. I recommend to people, just stay away from the 6.0. Don't jump down my neck if you feel like a 6.0 is a good engine. There's too many of them that have had problems. I see rigs all the time for sale that have a 6.0 with a blown head gasket. And so the rig is a great price, but it's got an engine that needs to be yanked. It's many thousands of dollar repair to fix those 6.0s. The Duramaxes, the GM Chevy Duramax, those are good engines. The Cummins diesel, very good engine. If you're talking about getting a rig that's of the age of like mine, then you're talking a Cummins for a Dodge. You're talking the Powerstroke 7.3. The 6.7 is the newer Ford engine. So I know I can't afford one with a 6.7 because those are new trucks and they're way too expensive. But I think it's a 6.6 Duramax and the Cummins. I don't know what the size of the Cummins is. I think all Cummins are good, but don't quote me on that. Clock on your wall is stopped. Oh, yeah. This upstairs to the folks' house, they don't come up here at all. Their master bedroom and everything is downstairs. So this is like an office, and so mom's husband Howard's my stepdad. He's issues in the last few years, and he can't really climb the stairs to get up to the office anymore. So I've taken his materials downstairs for him. So they probably replaced the battery in quite a while because they don't really come up here anymore. Yeah, Paul, I got it. I got that. Yeah, Jim says, I don't need no stinking clocks. I'm in the relax zone. Good point. I actually don't have a clock on the wall inside the truck in the house. I don't have a clock on the wall. Don't need it. Paula says 6.0s are a nightmare. Yeah, I've just seen way too many of them that have failed. I think it's kind of like a 6.0 is going to 100% fail. It's just some of them as early as like 15,000 miles, but they will all fail. I believe that's the truth. 100% of them will fail. Pat says the DT466 that's Cummins. Is that right? I'm sorry. I focus so much on the Ford engines that I'm not real versed in the other manufacturers. How much to convert to a 4x4? I've never priced that out. Lucky Liberty rings, good question. I've never priced it out. It is not cheap. If you take your rig to the shop, all their components, and they do it, you're talking, I believe it was over $10,000 to convert to 4-wheel drive. You can, if you're a mechanic and you got a shop, you can cannibalize a 4-wheel drive pickup and with a couple of kit components, put it right into an E-Series, over the course of a couple weekends. You got to be a pretty skilled mechanic and you got to have the donor vehicle available. So it's not cheap. It's nowhere near cheap. It's very expensive to do. Time is for the 9 to 5 crowd. Good one. Good way to put it. Linda just got in. Nice to see you, Linda. Big Dave, how much do I think I've put into the build part, making it livable, not the mechanical? I have a spreadsheet where I kept track of all the costs. Let me see if I can open it here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I have right here $9,000. Let me see if this includes mechanical stuff, though. I mean, this is a lot of stuff on this list, though. This is everything, like the bike, the motorcycle cover, but all part of making my life comfortable. So $9,000. That's solar, water systems, fan, refrigerator, freezer, heater, cameras, backup camera, everything. $9,000. Yep. So a pretty good chunk of money. Now I will tell you that let me see, 1, 2, 3, 600 of that was the 3 replacement solar panels. So that 8,400, because 600 of that was my fault for having those panels blow off. Dorothy, thank you for that. $14.99. Keep up the great work, David and Lefty. Thank you. Okay, we got some engine people sounding in. Cummins in a Dodge was a 5.9, and now it's a 6.7. Okay, yeah, the 5.9. Yeah, 5.9 is the older one. Yep. Mercedes-Benz makes a good engine, Chuck says. International. Absolutely international. Detroit Diesel. So engines that are included in rigs that are the size like of my rig, let's say. So you've got Chevy, GMC, the Kodiaks. So they would have the Duramaxes. You have some Dodge rigs. I don't see a lot of Dodge rigs, ambulances, for whatever reason. I just don't see a lot of them. And they would have the Cummins, probably the 5.9, maybe the 6.7. Monster Pud. Ooh, Monster. Got a 95 E350 for $7,500 last March, building it up. Awesome. Good deal. 7.3 liter, I think you're saying. You said 7.2. You mean 7.3 liter? Gas engine. Dana drives a 2007 3. Woman after my own heart. Love the 7.3. The DT466 is international. Okay, I knew that too. I've seen that in conversation before. Paul says the Ford 7.3 from 95 to 03 are the engines that will run to 500K with no problems. Yup. That's what I'm driving. And I'm banking on that, because when my rig goes on to the next person, I want it to be in really good shape still. And, right now the engine has 115,000 on it. So it's got plenty of life left in it. So whenever it goes to the next caretaker, it'll have plenty of life still left in it. Linda, moving soon, living out of my trailer in the boonies. Excellent. It's a stressful time relocating. I look back on when I sold my house and did all that. I don't know how I did it all. I had to prepare my whole house and get it on the market. And at the same time, I'm building my rig to move into, getting rid of all my belongings, because the day the house sells and they take the keys, I'm not moving stuff somewhere else. I'm pulling out in a truck. I don't know how I did it all. I did. And it was some very full days. And, I'm a list maker. You should have seen the lists I had back then. Oh, my gosh. Wow. I did it all in hindsight, and it doesn't even feel like it was a big deal now looking back. And that was just a couple years ago. It's kind of drifted from my memory. Well, Linda, I hope your move goes good. Dawn says you would have bought it too. You're talking about that rig I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Kim says 9,000 sounds reasonable. Frederick says sold your ambulance because it was only 5'1" inside and you're 6'3". 5'1"? Or you mean like 5'10"? Is that a typo? Yeah, 6'3". Now, like Sherry's rig and Jim's medium duty, I'm 6 foot tall and I still had clearance over my head. I don't know if I had 3 inches. I think I had 3 inches in Jim's medium duty for sure. Sherry's, I think I had maybe, I don't know, Sherry, if you're still on, what is your headroom in yours? Have you ever measured it? I think I had 2 inches over my head. So hers, I think, is 6'2". So you can find rigs that would accommodate 6'3". The medium duty, I think, would be the answer. Linda's getting solar hooked up and I have a generator. Good deal. Mr. Muskie, you know a guy that bought a new GMC half ton for $70,000? Brand new? No, probably used still. 70,000. I don't even know if that would buy a new one these days, would it? Well, it depends on the options, what kit it's got in it. Darlene says, congratulations, David and Lefty, on your first 10,000. You're just getting started. I can't wait to see your journey forward. Thank you very much, Darlene. Thank you. Yeah, well, keep in mind, I was thrust into this 10,000 bit because a month ago we were at 5,000 and a month before that we were at 3,000. So kind of went like this and now like that. So it's really exciting. I'm really glad to get a lot more people coming to hang out together watching the videos. It's really exciting. Wingnut says the ambulances around here are front wheel drive. What? Where is that? Where are you located? Is that are you overseas or is that in the US? Front wheel drive. Is it Canada? I don't know. Paula said she just saw a Dodge ambulance today. It was shiny new. Well, yeah, they are out there. Gosh, they're rare. I don't know what it is, why that is. Just I don't hardly see them. Dennis says we need a video regarding cameras and equipment for videos. I've always wanted to do a video about that. I know it's a very niche interest. I don't know. It'll really be a cool video for a very few people, I think, but I want to make one because I'd like to show kind of the progression from when I started making the videos to where I'm at now. And I think some of you might your jaws might drop at the absolute amount of stuff that I have for making these videos. And part of that is me, I like gadgets and stuff, but part of it is the quality, I needed better quality. And so I had to get this, which meant I needed to get that thing that plugged into it, which meant I needed that adapter and this. And so now I have just mountains of cameras and microphones and tripods and attachments and just, it's incredible. So great idea for a video. And I do want to do one soon here one of these days. I got to put my wide angle lens on to capture all of the stuff in one shot. Can a regular garage work on an international or just tractor trailer mechanics? Good question, Scott. It would depend on the garage. I mean, the mechanic would have to know that engine. And the size, if you're talking about a medium duty, I mean, many shops could work on a medium duty truck. It's a standard Cummins typically. So I would say yes. If anyone knows different, definitely answer that. But I'm pretty certain, yeah, a regular garage can work on an international, like an FL60 medium duty. Yeah. The cat was great, except it had a single belt drive in the water pump, and the belt tended to not last long. Interesting. Yeah. Well, knowing that, I guess you could carry like 5 spares, right? Hello from Kentucky. What do you use for video? Okay, well, I have an Android Android TV box. It's a Me box, it's called, and that has that's hooked up to my TV. It has a hard drive attached to it with 650 or some odd movies on it and a bunch of TV shows. And I also run Netflix and Amazon Prime and YouTube on that little box hooked to my TV. So that's what I do. That Android box with that hard drive of movies. That's for if I don't have a signal somewhere, I can fall back on that. I always have something to watch. But no discs, no like DVDs. I don't have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player or anything like that. No. Gail says you are really organized. It's funny. I don't feel like I am, but I don't know. Thank you. Dingfelder Smurfle out. Hi, David. Glad I got back from work in time to see some of this. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Randy, okay. Yeah, Randy's a Cummins guy, so he's going to school me on Cummins info here. The Cummins changed over to the 6.7 in 2007 and a half. Okay, so that's even an older engine now. Is the 6.7 still a current displacement engine that they still carry? Scott, it's found mainly on medium-duty trucks, 24-foot rental trucks, so usually serviced by a diesel mechanic of one sort or another. Yep. Good. Lisa, thank you for being here. She's got to go cook dinner. Thank you very much, Lisa. She's a very frequent commenter. Enjoy your dinner. Linda's giving stuff away and storing stuff, building a bunkie and making it for. I'm not sure. I think that's a typo. Yeah, I gave a lot of stuff away when I cleared out the house. A lot. I sold a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, but some of it I just gave away to people in the neighborhood. There was a young lady that lived up the street with she had 3 kids, and her brother would come and go periodically. I gave him some of my tools. I gave him my weed whacker and the push mower, and she bought my John Deere riding mower. But I was taking carloads of stuff up to her house up the road just so I could easily get rid of it, because I was getting down to the wire and needed to get rid of a lot of stuff. And her brother took everything I would offer, Scott had a box truck with a Caterpillar 726 cylinder. See, that is just foreign to me. A Caterpillar, goodness. Celia, hello from Kentucky, Celia. Hello. Thank you for being here. Jim says, Gail, everyone in New York is organized, as in organized crime. Rim shot. Oh, you were born here, Jim? Cool. Yeah. $73 inches, so 6'1" Sherry. Okay, yeah, maybe that's what it was. So I had an inch then above my head. So 6'3" probably would want higher than 73 inches. That's 6'1". Thank you, Sherry. Is the Don La Buchista? Is the Don here the same Don from Dawn of Van Life who's currently building out a box truck? Don, can you answer that? Wingnut, New Brunswick, Canada. Okay, Canada. Yeah, front wheel drives. I Well, I haven't seen those here in the U.S. That doesn't mean they're not here, but there are, the newer ambulances, like the brand new ones that are coming out that are based on the Sprinter and all that. And I have heard from ambulance mechanics and techs, and they hate them. They absolutely hate the brand new style ambulances. They prefer the old school looking ones, like mine. Yeah, that was interesting to me. Born and raised, Celia. Can't wait to hit the road. The good thing about hitting the road is always there. You don't have to rush to hit the road. If it means not taking care of some things, take care of your stuff, take care of your business, build your rig, and then hit the road. Sometimes I catch myself in that, oh, I gotta go. I want to get to this place. And then I stop and I'm like, but that place isn't going anywhere. I can go there. I can go there next year at this time and be perfectly happy. I don't have to go there right now. I catch myself doing that still. How did I get the movies onto the disc? Well, downloading. I used to have a Netflix subscription, discs, and some really sneaky ripping software. This is years ago. So I used to collect movies and download when torrenting first came out, when you could download torrent movies without your ISP sending you an email saying you've downloaded copyrighted stuff. I haven't downloaded these movies I've had on disc. I mean, some of them are kind of newer, but the majority of them are some years old and older. Oh, Lefty just came up to see me.
Hi, buddy. Come here, Tommy. Come here. Come here, see. Come here. Come here. Here's my boy. There he is. Hi. Oh, you're gonna look at the camera? Huh? What are you gonna look at the camera? What? What?
Who is that? He's looking at himself on the laptop. Give me my slipper. Currently, we take the Ford shop. Yeah, you can take. The good thing I've said about ambulances like mine, you can take it to a Ford mechanic because it's a van. It's a Ford van, or it's a Chevy van, or whatever yours happens to be. So you can take it to a standard shop to get service done. Some people they see an ambulance and they're kind of taken back, but you find the shop that says it's just a van, and they understand it's just a van, and they'll work on it for you. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for being here, brother. Yep, Dawn's saying if she's looking for a 7.3, because if it needs work, she can pull into a Ford dealer. Thank you, Kim, for being here. Ellen, thank you for that comment. Says I'm a nice guy, and it's easy to feel like we really know you. Thank you. I feel like I'm finally, I'm able to really talk to everybody in the videos like I really am. And, early on, I was a little maybe nervous or not really knowing what I was doing with the videos. So now I feel like I'm over all that stuff. So I can kind of, when I look at the camera, I feel like I'm talking to you guys, like I'm looking at it right now. And it's almost as if I'm looking at a person. That's what the camera has become. It's become all of you. So thank you for that. Big Dave says, have I made many friends on the road? I definitely run across the same people. I've made some friends. I traveled with some friends while I was on the road for quite a while. When I spent the winter near some friends that I made out west. So the great thing about traveling out on the road, if it's your thing, you can go and talk to people, and there's a million great people out there that want to talk with you and be friends and share stories and do potluck dinners together and all that, if that's your thing, and sometimes I like doing that. And other times I kind of like just being with me and Lefty. So it depends on where we are and who's around us. But I have definitely met a lot of people out on the road. And the great thing is I run across them in a whole different state from where I saw him last. I'll be in the store or something and somebody's like, "Hey, David." And it's, it's so-and-so from 3 states away that I saw 3 months ago. We keep seeing each other in all these different traveling locations. And that is really cool. That is really cool. Paula, surprised I don't use my fancy microwave to pop popcorn for your movie watching. I have. I don't think I've ever showed it in a video. I do this microwave popcorn. It's called Blast O Butter. It is the most butteriest, saltiest popcorn you will ever have. If you want to get your butter fix, Blast O Butter. I always take a wet paper towel with me when I'm eating it so that I can wipe off when I'm done. Man. Dingerfeld Smurfalot says some Ford dealerships do not service the vans they sell, particularly the camper vans. Dealers are not obligated to service any and every Ford. Yeah, I don't know that they're obligated, but I know that, like I've taken mine to the Ford dealer here locally, and it probably you just got to find the Ford dealer, and they're totally willing to work on it up there. So maybe I just got lucky, but when I took it in there, the mechanic, in talking to the guy who's going to work on it, I felt really good because he knows 7.3s inside and out because he's a Ford service guy, and he's specifically a Ford truck service technician. So I felt like I was putting it in good hands there. Dana, you go to diesel shops. Yeah, I would like to find a dedicated diesel shop here locally so that when I'm back in New York, I could take it to them. And there are some shops around here, but it's not like it is like when you're out in the Midwest or the West where you get these performance diesel shops that have all kinds of great stuff for your diesels. It's not like that back here in New York. But I would like to at least find a competent diesel shop specialist back here that I can take it to. Rocket White, hello, what are we chatting about tonight? All kinds of crazy stuff. Mostly ambulances. W. Nord, I have an ambulance working on it as we speak. Good, awesome. X31, congratulations on the 10,000. Thank you very much for that. What Jim says, we're talking about Lefty, of course. Who else is the star in this channel? Come on. I'm part of it too. Yeah, 7.3s are international engines, IDI and Powerstrokes. I was always under the impression that the 7.3 Powerstroke was manufactured by Ford. But in doing some reading and being informed by some folks that are smarter than me about it, the 7.3s are all international engines, just that Ford, when they made the Powerstroke, Ford did some add-ons or something to it. And I'm probably wrong about that too. Blast O Butter. Yes, Blast O Butter. Like blast of butter, but instead of, it's just O. Blast O Butter. It's good. Big Dave, do you have travel plans, places you want to see or places you want to go back to? I definitely want to get out. I have a romanticized attraction to like the Red Rocks, like Monument Valley kind of stuff out in Utah. And so I want to go and scour that whole, like all of Utah to me is just so gorgeous. And I've been in parts of Utah, but I want to cover all of it because I know there's some places that are just going to take my breath away out there. So any area of the US that has that kind of red rock, red dirt environment, I want to go see all of that. And group in with that, like the Grand Canyon. Actually, I haven't been there yet. So I still have a lot of places that I want to go and I haven't been yet. Yeah. Patrick said he got lucked out and got in touch with a great diesel mechanic. That's great. You got to have a mechanic you can trust. I'm so lucky here. My good friend Tim works up at the Ford Lincoln dealership up the road here. So if there's ever anything that I don't know or can't figure out with Dr. Google, all I got to do is contact him. Him and I have wrenched on all of my vehicles together. We rebuilt my daughter's Volkswagen engine when the timing chain let go, and rebuilt the top end of the engine in my old Mercury. And just him and I just have done so much together. And I really trust him. Anything he tells me he's a great mechanic. He's been doing it for decades. So it's really important to find a mechanic you can trust. I'd like to know more about the electrical. I did some different tied into the current system. I did a video, ambulance electronics, and I covered really in detail about my system. And I even had like a schematic of how I wired my system in. If you want to watch that video, if you haven't seen that video, that's a great place to start. I mean, my system is nothing, I don't think, out of the ordinary or really that extreme. But I was trying to give a real good understanding about how it's separating away the cranking batteries from the house system so that you don't run the risk of running down your cranking batteries. And so a lot of people really took that video really well. So start by watching that ambulance electronics video and see how I did my system. I don't think you get a free angioplasty with the blast of butter. No, Mr. Muskie. If you ate that stuff regular, you'd need one. Dana says you can hook me up with the diesel guy in Southwest Idaho. I may have to take you up on that. So far, I haven't had any issues with the engine. I said it before. But I think one of these days I would like to look at doing getting some advice on doing some performance improvements to the engine. If you guys know the 7.3, it's very undertuned and can put out tremendously more amounts of power than it is from the factory with just like a chip to control the computer. And then you can do injectors and all kinds of stuff, bigger turbos. But I'd like to get some advice on doing a performance improvement that's not going to really affect the longevity of the engine, because I can't have it breaking down because I live in it, so I can't put massive injectors and massive turbos in it because that would maybe jeopardize its reliability and all that. And I can't have that. So I'd like to find somebody that I can pick their brain for that kind of info. Unfortunately, my buddy up here, the mechanic, he's not a diesel guy. He's a gas engine mechanic. So I got to find somebody that can give me that info. Stuart, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate it. Take care. Jim, yeah, I'd love to meet up with you sometime. I saw a video. I only read the title. I didn't watch it, to be honest with you, that the RTR is possibly going to be back on this year, a more traditional RTR. And so if that's the case, and I end up being out that part of the country, then in the RTR area when it's happening, I'll definitely share all that with everybody. So you guys, if you're out on the road and you guys want to swing by and meet up, absolutely, because I think I'd love to see everybody's rigs and meet you guys in person. So if I'm going to be out there, which I probably am going to end up going out there this winter, just because of the way my schedule is working out here right now. But I'll let everybody know that if the RTR is going to be on, we can meet up out there and eat a lot of food. Okay, I think, guys, my gosh, it's 7:30. I think we're going to start to wind this down. I haven't had any dinner, and my eyes are starting to get fuzzy from all the reading. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I wasn't expecting this many folks, nor for it to last anywhere near this long, and especially this is the first time. So, I'm glad it went off without a hitch technology-wise, and I'm really happy that you all were here. And I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions. You guys know you can always email me. My email address is thecampulancman@gmail.com. It's in all the video description. So if you want to start any kind of question and answer dialogue with me, I'd be more than happy to answer that. So I think I'm gonna wind this down here. How about in 2 minutes? So I'm just gonna sit here and kind of thank everybody over and over again for the next 2 minutes. Thank you, Dorothy, for that. That's probably going to be the last one, right? Because you're sneaking it in right under the wire. Thank you so much. To be honest, I turned on that whole super chat thing there and expected absolutely nothing to happen with it. So I'm really happy to see that people responded to that. Again, I don't like to talk about finance stuff on the channel. It's just not something I'm real comfortable with at this point. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Paula, thank you. Frederick, thank you. Delta Reformation RV Prepper. AAA will not cover your rig. Okay. Thank you, Middle Way. Rita, thank you. Thank you, Rita. All right, Jim. Sherry, thank you for being here. Thank you, Linda. Randy, you going to send a pizza? I think I'll be eating 10 things before it gets here, brother. How often will I be doing live? I don't know. I think I enjoyed doing it. I hope you guys did. So I'll do it again. I'll let everybody know when I'm going to do it again. Absolutely. Thank you, Middle Way. All right. 2 minutes. Everybody take care. Have a great night. We'll see y'all again really soon. Okay. Be safe.